What is up, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 gamers? I am Cherry, and I have been playing Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 for about a week now, behind the scenes, thanks to a couple partners with the official marketing of the game, who gave me a content creator's pass, and this is my first tier list for the game day one. So this isn't going to be accurate, likely too much after the game's release, because as soon as enough people get their hands on the game, it's going to be insane how quickly the meta develops. However, this will be a good recommendation on who you should play day one to try and curb stop some people, whether it's because you're playing with your friends, you want to show that, hey, low-key, with 10 minutes in the game, I'm the best versus you, or maybe you're streaming and you just want to show how good you are and curb stomp some people in quick play or ranked, and whoever you are, we're going to show you exactly who you'd want to play to do that. So, let's get right into this. Let's start from the top downward, because I think it's easier to give you an idea of who you might want to play to beat people, rather than maybe who's either bad or ones I don't have as good of an idea with. So, day one, the best character unanimously behind the scenes, we've all been agreeing, is Kora. She's busted. She's who you'll want to play in the tournaments. If there's a day one tournament, she's the one who you want to play on ranked. If you're really grinding, sweaty, and you just want to win, she's the one that you're going to want to use against your friends just to beat the crap out of them. And she's the one that, if you're a Kora fan, oh my gosh, you're going to have a great time with her. She has everything. Number two, in terms of who I think you should want to try day number one, is likely SpongeBob. SpongeBob is just very simple, very fundamentally sound. He's got just a ton of very fundamental, very understandable tools, but that makes him a very strong, easy to use character day number one. And it likely means that he will not get much worse as time goes on, no matter what happens. Because even if you're not too great with him day one, you're going to get better with slime canceling, EX slime usage, meteor usage in general. There's going to be a ton of meta developments for him, and I think he'll always be a good character, not only just because of this, but because he's literally SpongeBob. He wasn't ever terrible in the first game, and while his meta relevancy did go down from a very good character like top 5, I think at his peak or top 2, with the Spobble that Leffen discovered day one, but in this game I don't see that him going that low. But even then, day one, you're gonna want to use SpongeBob. He's very easy to understand and very straightforward. He's very similar to characters like Mario from Smash Ultimate, and he's very similar to SpongeBob in NASB2, just with a couple of added features, like that new horizontal moving side special, his chef's flip, and his new forward and strong forward aerials that spike or send opponents straight out if they try to hold out. So there's a ton of ways you can, or hold in, excuse me. There's a ton of ways you can use this character to your advantage, and a lot of them are going to be very familiar. So yeah, that's why I think you should play SpongeBob. Number two is going to be Ember. She's a crazy good character. She has a lot of really useful moves, great projectile usage. She has strong multi-hits, as well as just a strong neutral game that makes her very annoying to have to deal with in neutral. She's very obnoxious to deal with. And I don't think this is because she's just a matchup check, that she is. She is also a character that just has a ton of good things going for her. And I think no matter whether it's day 1 or day 10 or year 1, she'll probably be pretty relevant in the meta in some way, shape, or form. So I think she's another one you need to check out. And you'll start to notice a trend with these early picks as we go on. They're not too complex, they're not too hard to get into, and they're not too hard to master. So we're going to try and get into them as quickly as possible now. So number 3, we have El Tigre. El Tigre is literally as simple as it gets. He's similar to SpongeBob in the sense that if you have fundamentals in platform fighting games, if you've played NASB2, if you've played Project M, if you've played Super Smash Bros. In general, if you've played Melee, Rivals, it doesn't matter. If you've played enough time in any of these games, you'll understand El Tigre instantly. You'll be good at him, and he'll likely give you a decent ton of success on day 1. He's got a shine, so you know how to multi-shine with the character. He's got that down throw back area. He's got down throw nair. He's got down throw fair. He's got just very fundamental types of platform fighting combos. So if you've played any of those games, you're going to be right at home with them. Alrighty. Number 3 on here is going to be Azula. And it's similar to Kora, but not as tough and strong. And a couple of things lack with her. You're going to have a decent understanding of, honestly, Street Fighter when you play this character. Not because she plays very similarly to Akuma, but honestly, because she plays very similar to Akuma. Like, she literally doesn't have command inputs or anything crazy like that, and obviously there's meteor usage, like in Street Fighter, but that's across the whole cast. But you don't need to know that for day 1. What you do need to know day 1 is just platform fighter fundamentals combos, having that sort of slowed down, but also in your face, like heavy combo game, you know, using fireballs to get into the face if somebody's being a bit more defensive or zoning you out. And then using those downward-facing projectiles, those diagonal projectiles, when you jump with neutral special, to edge guard and get in your opponent's face and combo them into that blast zone. And if you can do all that, then I think you'll be doing just fine. So that's where she's at. She's got a very straightforward game plan, and you'll have a decent amount of time with her day 1 in NASB. Next up, we've got Donatello. And Donatello, oh my god, he's a war crime. He's got gigantic hitboxes. If you're able to be, you can play this character as lame as you want, as fast as you want. You can play him any way you want. You can do your taxes for you if you like. You can do your everything. He can do literally whatever you want. His nair is humongous. His upper is a great juggling tool. His recovery, while small, you also have that smoke bomb that you can use to get back, and it's jump cancelable after teleporting. And it makes it just insanely viable in terms of this character's moveset. He's got gigantic hitboxes. His EX slime, when you throw the smoke bombs, is 3 gigantic electric smoke bombs that can stun your opponent a ton of hit stun and just get you started with that fair or nair combo starter. And oh my gosh, he is just so annoying to deal with, but he is really useful day 1. Another character day 1 that isn't too complex, but hey, he's got that going for him, is Plankton. Plankton is going to be a matchup check character. I don't expect him to be very good past day 1. He might not even last that long day 1, because depending on the person you meet, they might just realize, oh, he's a big character, I'm just going to combo him. I'm not scared. But use Intimidation to your strengths. Use his zoning. Use his projectiles to his strengths. He's got a ton of really good utilization out of Chum, as well as the ability to command grab, slime cancel your command grab. So you can do command grab into command grab just by using 1 meter. And that means if you have 3 meters, you can do that up to 3 times. And you can rack up pretty quick damage with that, because you can do like slime cancel into it, you know. And it's just an insane combo. But he's pretty straightforward, pretty goofy to have to deal with day 1. And even if he doesn't last too long, day 1, you're going to get your ranking points. You're going to get that tournament win here or there with him. You're going to get a ton of quick play wins with this character, and people are going to be pissed after having to deal with Plankton. So you're going to have a lot of fun with this character, I guarantee it. Another one on day 1 that I think will be really good, day 1, will be Raphael. Raphael, while he's a bit more complex, I think can definitely be played with a bit of simplicity. And just playing it patient, playing it rush down heavy, and trying to match in people's faces when you see the opening will be the way to go. And I think because of his speed, and if you're able to keep up with the amount of inputs you could put output for this character and the amount of speed, and as long as you're not getting hit too much, you'll probably be doing just fine on day 1. And that brings us to our next character that I think will be doing really great on day 1. Similarly to Plankton, I think Patrick will be doing wonderfully on day 1. This character is, while simple and doesn't have the greatest tools and all the time, he just needs some straight hits. And day 1, people aren't going to know their combos, people aren't going to know how to get out of things, people aren't going to understand the slime meter yet. There's going to be a ton of things that people just don't get about this game that you're going to get away with Patrick early on that will make him a decent B-tier character. I think he's one of those characters that early on in NASB2 will have a ton of players that will just really make you slam your controller on the floor. But as time goes on, I expect him to drop off tremendously. So just play him for fun. Enjoy those first couple days where people just don't know what his moves are and how his moves work. And just, I'm sorry, I don't expect Patrick to be up here this long. So, enjoy it while it lasts, okay? Alrighty. Next up, we've definitely got a couple here that we could use. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Jenny is definitely up here as well. Jenny is just a character that you're going to get blown up by, and she has a ton of things like her down charge. that are going to be really annoying to have to deal with if you never played NASB1 and you never had to deal with Jenny in general, because that down charge at ledge is going to kill a lot of characters pretty early on, and we'll see if people are ready. Not even that, but just her forward charged aerial is going to be an insane ban on people, whether it's from a slime cancel move or just in general. She's got a lot of strong moves that people, if they learn how to combo with them early on, or if they just learn to throw out stray hits, are going to be really cumbersome to have to deal with. So let's see how people do for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 early on. Next up on here is going to be April O'Neil. She's got a ton of moves I think make her a great character to deal with here in neutral, as well as just her advantage state. And while I think that she's a bit more complex than a lot of the characters above her, and while that makes her much better than the characters like Patrick and maybe some others like Plankton I put higher than her, I think that over time she's going to rise up in the tier list, if not be good day one. We'll see. And she's not too complex, but I do think that unless you have that that big brain in terms of just learning quickly, you might be a little confused on what the plan is with her. But I think she's not too complex, so you should be fine. Next up on here, we have Gerald. And Gerald, I'm going to say, he's one of those characters that maybe people will figure him out, really quickly day one. And what will happen with him is you'll see people, maybe have, that weird skateboard meta for a long time where people just get confused on what the heck skateboard is doing. And as soon as any Gerald player figures out just his kit in general, oh my god. I would say for a lot of these characters, but Gerald especially, watch the spotlights. Watch how people play in the spotlights. Watch the combos they do, that up air into slime cancel strong up air, or strong up air into slime cancel up B. At high percent is going to be a thing you're going to see a lot of. And I think for Gerald especially, you're going to want to watch that wonderfully made spotlight once again. Next up on this list, I'm going to say is Garfield. And once again, this is like a Spacey-esque character, but more of a rushdown plays. He still has his projectiles with the pies and such, as well as that sugar rush that he gets. So he's gonna be a lot more in your face than in the previous game. However, just because he's rated a lot lower than in the previous game does not mean he won't be bad. I suspect that Garfield may go a lot higher than this. I just think that early on he may be a bit hard to master, just because of how his playstyle is. There are characters that are better than him that I think will have less time needed to cook, and I think that Garfield will eventually rise above those characters, but for now, this is where I'm putting him for NASB2. Next up on this list, I'm going to put Jimmy Neutron. And Jimmy Neutron, I think, is going to be one of those characters that's really weird, but there's going to be one guy somewhere in the world that will just be cracked, omega crazy cracked at Jimmy. I have no clue who it will be, and I'm not gonna lie, it won't be me. I know I talked a lot of shit about Jimmy. I was like, I'm gonna be that guy who I don't get him. I've been trying my best. I've been trying to grab as much as I can. I just don't get him. I'm sorry, I have that big brain. I tried. That cat dog combo was not enough. It wasn't enough for me. I'm sorry. It happens though. Another one up here is gonna be Nigel. Nigel, he's cracked. I think that there's gonna be a couple of people who will really excel with this character. Namely, people who play Jigglypuff. He pretty much has auto confirms into his rest using Slime Meteor, and if people pick up on that really quickly, which I hope you do, just from things like up air rest with or flick, excuse me, into slime cancel flick, up air slime cancel flick, it's gonna be nuts. That type of things people figure out. It's just he's light, so you gotta really bide your time, be patient. But I think that strategy will work really well for the people that don't, really get him yet. So we will have to see how people do with him day one, but I think people will do just fine. The last one I'm going to put up this high in B tier will probably be the Beavers. The Beavers are, while they are complex, they are actually really good at just in general. And they are characters that they have a lot of things going for them. They have so many things. They have the switch mechanic, the assist mechanic, the slime canceling in general is going to help them so much. But I think that it's going to be crazy to see how they develop as well over time. I think they're way higher than this placement. But for now, the thing is, where I'm placing them is just, I think we'll have to see who actually picks up on them and figures them out day one. And I think if you're going to want to, like, be cracked day one, I would not recommend them. But, I mean, you can get it done. I just think that you're going to be spending a lot more time in the lab than you will be in those tournaments getting those free slime box points, you know what I'm saying? So, like, they're not going to not be bad. But it's a character that you're going to have to spend a lot of time with. And that's where I'm at with them right now. And I lied. I have a couple more characters I'm going to put up this high. I have 3. So the 3 characters I have left to put in B tier are as ordered. Granny, Danny, and Aang. And the reason I have these characters in this order is that Granny has knee. She literally has knee. And so when you have a move like that that is that powerful, where like she just hits you in the face and you can just go flying, and it's a light attack, it's a light aerial. Light forward aerial is literally just knee. You are going to see people explode from this. This is going to be crazy. So, just having that and the really decent back air with that frying pan is just... You do not want to have to deal with that early on. So I think that her just fundamentally, even if you don't know too many combos that actually work, she has up air knee, she has upper back air, you know, upper nair. Like, she has really good, like, just fundamentalist combos that once you add the slime mechanic to it, she's going to be pretty good. And then things like her weirdo abilities, like her random item bag with down special, and just things like her charge down air being able to swing you across the map, you know. And as well as her momentum from Punch Day 1. There's a couple bugs with her that I definitely going to be patched. But you can move pretty far across the map with just her momentum alone. So really experiment with that. Just mess around. And it's not something you need to be in the lab for. Just go into online matches and just mess around with how she functions. And you'll see what I'm talking about right away. So make sure you're playing online, okay? Aang, he's a character that I can totally see somebody getting used to. He's got a lot of jumps. He's a very floaty character. But he has combos that aren't too hard to grasp. It's just, I don't see him killing as quickly as I'd see characters, especially in the Fundamentalist Day Oneer category, which I'm going to retitle this to Day Oneers. And then this is the best Day One. And this could totally change, but this is where I'm at right now for that. So, now... We've got the characters are left. And it goes something like this. Roco. Pretty good. Psychomatic's kind of nice. He's got decent projectiles. He's got a decent up air. Slime cancel it into various things. EX Pogo Stick for his up charge is pretty good. He's got a lot of use versatility, but he's weird. And I think that, like, unless you spend a lot of time with him, you're going to be plateauing a little early. So if you want that day one sauce, pick an easier character. But I think that if you really want to game with him, you can game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll figure it out. It's going to be tough. It doesn't mean he's a bad character. What this means is I don't think he'll be good for you if you just want to get on quick play, not lab at all, and just play the game, enter a tournament right away. Like, if you want to try and win day one, either in a tournament or on quick play and ranked, like, this is not the character to play. This is a character you're gonna want to let cook for a little bit, you know. Next up is going to be Squidward. Squidward has that rage mechanic, and I think that if you can utilize his up air and his combo game and get used to that double jump combo game really quickly, or double jump cancel combo game really quickly, it'll be a character that you'll cook with, but hey, it's not a day one character. He's one you're going to want to lab with. So, oh gosh. Like, I just think that you're going to have to really let him cook, you know what I'm saying? Another one that you're going to have to let cook is definitely Lucy. Lucy is one of those characters that, hey, like, she's very, very, very complex. But I think as soon as you figure them out, you're going to cook. You're going to cook. She's going to be really good, I think. I think she has a lot of good things going with her, like her momentum backer. She's got a very good use of her bite and form switch that I think hasn't been explored too much yet. And I think that once it gets into the hands of many people, we're going to be seeing a lot of tech unveiled for this character on Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday morning. That is just going to be outstanding to see. And I hope to see more from this character. And I know a couple players have been really labbing her out, so I'm excited to see those players reveal what they know. Another character that I think fits into this category is Repar. I think that he's not the greatest character. I think he's got a lot of good things going for him, but he also just isn't too bad. It's just that, like, we'll see where he gets to. I think that he'll be a strong character day one, but like there are way better options above him, which is why he's not in B or day oneers, you know. He's not a bad choice day one, but like he's just gonna get maybe outclassed, and he definitely has some like really crazy touch of death type stuff, but like it's also the type of thing is you have to like know what you're doing, and no one coming into NASB2 who doesn't have the game right now will not know what they're doing. So he'll develop over time, let him cook, and you'll figure it out, you know. Next up, I've gotta say, is Ren and Stimpy. They have a solid game plan, very simple to understand, but again, there are just people that outclass them above this that are easier, as well as have more going for them. And that doesn't mean he's a bad character or that he won't develop or whatever. It just means that right now you can pick somebody else and do better with knowing less. Like, if you don't know anything about this game and you want to pick up a character, you don't need to pick up Ren and Stimpy when you could pick up Kora. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he's bad, it's just that you don't need to know anything about Kora or SpongeBob to get into the game versus somebody like Ren and Stimpy, where he has a game plan that's pretty explored and is very defensive, but a game that's going to be as fast as NASB2, and while it won't be as fast as NASB1 for now, it's still really fast. So you do not want a defensive character right now in NASB2, and that leads me to my next and final character, Zim. I really like Zim. I like how he plays, but oh my god, I got bodied by a couple Koras, and a couple SpongeBobs, and a couple Embers, and a couple Tigres, and a couple Azulas, and a couple Donnies, and a couple Planktons, and I was just like, enough's enough. I'm not playing this character like too much on launch day. I'm gonna keep labbing him behind the scenes. I'm gonna keep trying to see what I can figure out, but he's very complex. He's very defensive, and his recovery is booty cheeks without Gur, and you need to be using Gur a lot because that's his best tool. And so when his best tool gets knocked away from you, and you have to get knocked off stage without, like, the way your recovery is better, and you have to waste your slime mirror just to have a chance at touching that ledge, and you already know you're not going to make it, it's just rough. So, it's just, he's not good off stage without Gur. He needs Gur in neutral and in his advantage state in so many ways, so it's like, you kind of have to have it out, you know what I'm saying? So it's just really complex. That doesn't mean he's the worst character in the game, it just means that day one, you're going to need to be cooking with him, you know what I mean? You're either going to need to be somebody who's labbed him a ton pre-release as a beta tester, or otherwise who has way more than a week or more than an hour in the game. And that's where I'm at with my tier list. So let's delete this tier. And let's rename these real quick before I publish this. Let them cook. Not bad options for day one, but not the best. So, yeah, that's my day one tier list for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. I'm Cherry NASB, and you can find me on Twitter at cherry_PFGC. I host the weekly Chum and Go, which is every Monday. And I also host a couple of monthlies that have yet to be announced, so keep your eyes on that. If you'd like to watch my tournament streams, they are on twitch.tv, with the VODs being here on my channel, YouTube, Cherry, at CherryNASB, and then my Twitch channel is Cherry IPG. Cherry I Play Games, Cherry IPG is the handle. And you can come find me there, and every Monday I'll be streaming a weekly online Chum and Go. It's open to everybody. And there may or may not be a prize pool. I'm still working on that. As this video is being recorded prior to NASB2's release, so as we get closer to it, I'll have more details to share with you. So this is my day 1 tier list for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. And I appreciate you watching. If you like what you saw, or if you have any questions about this tier list, make sure to comment your experiences with the character you chose on day 1, and let me know how you did. Make sure to give this video a like, and if you want to see more tier lists, more content, and more gaming epic nonsense from me, you can do so by subscribing and hitting the bell. But I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.